Jordan can see it later too. I'm going to go ahead and take you to what our assignments are for this week. Just so, oops, I skipped ahead to week 30. Just so you know just how important these are. So let's go to 29. It's week 29. Can you believe that? Wow. And if I scroll all the way down here, okay, so you're going to see fifth grade, week 29. And there's a ton of different things to turn in. You have a brain pop quiz that you're going to be turning in. This is the huge one that you have to get done this week, and that's your job application. If you do not turn in your job application this week, then I'm not going to be able to kind of categorize you guys into your interviews. And so you might not get the job that you want. So it's really important. You also have your why vote visual, and then, of course, page 58. And yes, go ahead, Nicholas.
Um, so the job application, do we like write it down in Word or?
I will, let me take you to the assignment. This is where you turn it in. Sorry. Let me go back and tell you what the assignment actually is. So if you click on, week 29 here, you see all of your stuff that you're going to do. And then, of course, it says social studies. Go over here to all your different units. Let me turn the editing off so it doesn't look so weird to you guys. Hold on. My editing is on, so it has all kinds of funky little um, icons. Okay, so now it's going to look normal. Okay, so if you go to week 29 and you go and you see all of these different chapters, okay? So here's your overview. Go to your overview and read that first, and it just kind of gives you a overall introduction to everything you're going to do this week. But then if you go to right here, skills assessment and job application, that's the assignment. So you're going to go ahead and read through all of this, and here's your lesson, and it tells you it's actually page 51 in your student workbook, okay, is part of what you're going to be turning in. And then page 53 is another part.
Yeah, on page 53, it did like this weird thing. I'm like, this isn't what I would. It doesn't make sense. So anyway, but page 51, I didn't check page 51. I'll do that.
Okay, well, yeah, one of those is your job application, and that's what you're going to be scanning into that Dropbox, okay? So
Okay.
that's a really important one to get done this week. I just sent you something in the mail yesterday, and it's a checkbook. So just hold on to your checkbook. You don't need it until you come on April 30th. But then that package that you guys got, there was a yellow workbook in it. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It had like a yellow
Um.
cover.
I didn't get. I mean, I got. I have a checkbook, but it's like. But I don't have a yellow workbook. I don't think.
I think you probably do. You just check your materials again, that first package I sent you. There should be
Yeah.
something like a yellow cover. Bring that on April 17th when you go to your interviews, okay?
In my checkbook has a yellow cover, but I don't think that's.
Yeah, no, that's the one I mean. That's the
Oh.
one. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
sending you the correct checkbook, and you'll get that in a day or two, okay? So the
Okay.
checkbook that you need for April 30th, it either has a green or a purple cover, and I just sent that out yesterday. The one that has the yellow cover, I messed up. You need to bring those back to me on April 17th. Those
So
are for accountants if you're an accountant. But okay, so let me just
cool.
before I jump in too much more, I want to go over the important dates again. I've sent this out like 8 million times, but you never know. Some of you might not have read it. Okay, come on, open up. Okay, it's opening. Um, and the more times you hear it, the more likely you are to show up when you're supposed to. And all of these dates are mandatory because if you don't show up, you can't participate in the grand field trip. And that's like the whole point. It's really fun. So,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
yeah. Okay, so today is what? Oops, that's not what I wanted. Here we go. Today is April. Why is this going away? Go away. No, don't save. That's not the one I want to look at. I want to look at. Sorry. Looks like two
It's the
things.
fourth.
Okay, this is the one I want to look at right here. April 17th. That's next Wednesday. 1:45 p.m. I will see you at Cantrell for your interview. Okay, that's why I need your job application like ASAP so that I can get your interviews set up. Does that make sense? Okay. And then the following Wednesday, so this is next Wednesday. Then the following Wednesday, your job will be determined and you have to go to your job training at Lone Tree Elementary School. And then that next day, Thursday, you have to go with your staff meeting to meet with your fellow employees. So all of you will be like, let's just say that you're in the snack shop. You have to meet with all of your snack shop employees, and the teachers tell you what to do. So don't worry about it. April 30th, of course, is the field trip. Here's another important reminder: the fee is $20. You can bring that check to your interview on April 17th, or it is in Infinite Campus right now. You have a fee set up for $20. So there's two different ways that your parents can pay. They can pay through Infinite Campus, or you can just bring a check on April 17th. So give me a thumbs up if that makes sense and you are good. Okay, all right, I hope so because um, yeah, sorry. And Jacob, I just turned on my chat. Sorry about that. All right, I think between telling you guys and telling your parents everything, I think we should be good. So let's go ahead and start with math. Nicholas, you have a question? Go ahead.
Um, so time, what day is the staff meeting?
The staff meeting was the 25th. So don't worry, I sent this in your email. And I also made a copy of that piece of paper that I just had up on my screen. That's coming in the mail to you with your checkbook as well. And I also sent that thing with the dates to your parents as well. So there's like 18 different places that you can find those dates. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I think you should be good. And don't forget about DRA and MAP testing on April 17th. So we have a busy couple of weeks ahead of us. We have April 17th, your interviews. We have April 18th for your DRA and MAP testing. We have April 24th for your job training. We have April 25th for your staff meeting. And then we have April 30th for your actual field trip. So that's a lot. So whew, okay. April is a busy month.
Um, do we go to Ameritown for the staff meeting?
No, the staff meeting is at Lone Tree Elementary School, and that's all on that paper that I sent you, and it has the address and all of that. So,
Okay.
and it has the times, and don't worry, I'll be at the front of the school, so I'll walk you back to where we need to go and all that. So, don't worry. Okay, so whew, that was a lot of reminders, but like I said, April is a crazy month, and I haven't seen you except for Young Amer or not Young Ameritown TCAP testing all the month of March or Jump Street. I guess that was a
Yeah.
couple weeks ago too.
Thank gosh you were at Jump Street, or I wouldn't have been able to jump at all.
I know. All right, guys. So you have been, for math at least, you have been working on adding and subtracting fractions. So we're going to watch a little brain pop video on that, and then we're going to practice. And then we will move into mixed numbers because that's also something you've been doing. All right. Here we go.
Oh, I have a question about
Okay.
Blackboard Learn.
All right. I paused it. Go ahead, Nicholas.
Um, so you said this week to do week 20. You said this week to do lessons 1 to 3 in math.
Yeah.
But you said to do that the last week too.
Yeah, I changed it yesterday. I totally messed up. So you're supposed to do like 4 and 5 this week. So
I'll check it again.
yeah, I Jacob brought that to my attention yesterday that I see spring break messed me up and I forgot where we were. So yeah. Okay, here we go.
Didn't mess me up. I totally enjoyed spring break.
Mm, I hear you.
Are those pies for the bake sale? I sure like pie.
Pies.
Please?
It's our destiny to watch the pie video.
That's
I
right.
want to know how to add and subtract fractions. From Joshua. Well, pies are perfect for talking about fractions.
Yeah, they are. And
As you can
food.
see, this is
Pi's a decimal that's
that's one
rational.
part of one whole, or 1/1 in fraction form. If I cut the pie right down the middle, I get 2 pieces. Each piece is 1 divided by 2, or 1/2 of the whole. 1/2 plus 1/2 equals 2 halves, or 1 whole.
Yay. Easy,
In a
easy.
fraction, the numbers have names. The top number is the numerator, and the bottom number is the denominator. The denominator tells us how many pieces make up one whole. The numerator tells us how many of those pieces we're dealing with. Right, the 2 in this case is a common denominator shared by both fractions.
Okay, so when you add and subtract fractions with common denominators, it's really easy because nothing changes and all you have to worry about is the numerator. So, like fractions, that's what they're called, are really easy.
When you add fractions with the same denominator, you add the numerators while the denominator stays the same.
Yeah.
Each of these pieces is 1 divided by 4, or 1/4 of the whole. We can see that 1/4 plus 1/4 equals 2/4, or 1/2. So let's say we want to add 1/4 of this pie to 1/2 of another one. Cutting pie. 1/4 and 1/2 are fractions with different.
So these are called unlike denominators. And so we have to find something called the least common multiple in order to add or subtract them.
Different denominators. To add them, we need to find their LCD, or lowest common denominator. That's basically the lowest common multiple of the fraction's denominators.
Type it into the chat, Nicholas.
For our denominators, 2 and 4, that number is 4. So we want to write all of our fractions as fractions of 4. 1/4 already is, and as we saw before, 1/2 and 2/4 are really the same thing. Now that we have a common denominator, we can just add the numerators. 2/4 plus 1/4 equals 3/4. Well, subtraction is the same idea. As long as we have a common denominator, it's just a matter of subtracting the numerators. If we don't have a common denominator, we find the lowest common denominator and rewrite our fractions to match. Here's a good example. Last year, Moby's pies were the highest selling items in the bake sale. In fact, 5.
Okay, so everybody grab your pencil or pen or whatever in your notebook, and we're going to do this example with Moby and Tim.
9ths of all the students in our school bought them. But the year before, only 5/12 of the school bought the pies. Come on, it was the first year you made them. People didn't know how good they were yet. Anyway, to find out what fraction of students bought the pies the second year, but not the first year, we would subtract 5/12 from 5/9.
Okay, go ahead and write that down. 5/12 minus, 5/9 minus 5/12. Okay, so now what is the deal here? We have ninth and 12ths as our denominators. So we have to find something called the least common multiple in order to actually do this problem. So when I'm looking at a 9 and I'm looking at a 12, what do you think your least common multiple for those two numbers is? Go ahead, Nicholas.
36.
36. Okay. So we have to change everything about 5/9 into a part of 36, and we have to change everything about 5/12 into a part of 36. So go ahead and do this with the video.
Denominators are 9 and 12. What's the LCD? Good, 36. That's the lowest number that both 9 and 12 multiply into evenly. So let's rewrite our fraction as fractions of 36. Let's see. To turn 9 into 36, we need to multiply it by 4, which means we also have to multiply the numerator by 4. And to turn 12 into 36, we multiply it by 3, which means we also multiply 5 by 3. Now we can just subtract the numerators to get our answer. So, between last year and the year before, your sales increased by 5/36.
Yay! Good job, Nick.
All these pies we cut up, they're gonna go bad unless I eat them. Oh, ow. This is your fault for making so many pies. Ugh.
Oh boy. Okay, let's go ahead and take the quiz. So you're probably going to need some paper. I'm going to turn on my sketch pad so that if I need to write on top of this, I can. All right.
I didn't need paper.
No,
I
that
could in
was
my
a pretty easy example. That's for sure. Okay. Take the quiz. All right. Jacob, how are you feeling? You've been quiet, kind of quiet. Happy face, sad face. Woo! All right, that was a couple weeks ago. Let's wipe that clean. All right, here we go. Let's take the quiz. In the fraction, the number 1 is it the numerator, denominator, donator, nominator? So go ahead and type A, B, C, or D into the chat. Yeah, that was easy. It's the numerator. Cool. In the fraction 3/4, what is the denominator? Ooh. Easy, easy. 4 is the denominator. Good. Perfect. Okay. How do you add two fractions with like denominators? Ooh, let's see. Go ahead and read through those choices. Hmm. So there's only one. Yep, that's right, Nicholas. Okay, so in order to add two fractions with like denominators, you add the numerators, but you keep the denominator the same. Good. Okay, go ahead and add this up. 4/8 plus 2/8 equals. Very good, Jacob. Good job, Autumn. Yep, 6/8. Now, take it a step further. What can that be reduced to? Go ahead, Nicholas.
3/4.
That's right. A pie has 8 pieces. If Tim cuts out 5 pieces and gives 2 to Moby, what fraction represents the number of pieces Tim has left? Okay, so it has 8 pieces. If he takes out 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and gives 2 to Moby, what would be left? Ooh, you might have to draw a picture for this one. Tim cuts out 5 pieces and gives 2 of those 5 pieces to Moby.
And how many pieces are left? Is it how many pieces are left total that Moby doesn't have, or how many pieces of the
Yes. How
5 are
many
left?
pieces are left in the pie? And you know what's crazy is this right here, giving 2 to Moby, is extra information. We don't need this information. So let's reread it and just skip this. If Tim cuts out 5 pieces, what fraction is left?
Oh, oh.
Yeah, 3. 3 would be left. It doesn't matter if he gave 2 to Moby or if he gave Moby all 5. 3 are left. Yeah. When subtracting fractions that don't have like denominators, what is your first step? That's right, Jacob. Good job. So if you don't have a like denominator, what is your first step? That's right. To find their least common denominator. And then you can change them into fractions that you can work with. Okay, so now you have to actually do that. 3/8 plus 6/16. 16 will work as a denominator for both. That's my hint. So all you need to do is change this one, 3/8, into a part of 16ths. I will take a picture of this and show you what I'm talking about. All right. Here we go. So we have 3/8. Oh, where's my pen? Oh, I don't know. My pen's not working right now. Oh, wait, there it is. Okay, it turned back on. Thank you. 3/8 plus 6/16. What I need to do is change 3/8 into a part of 16ths, and then I can just leave 6/16 alone. So how many groups of 8 fit into 16? 2. 2 times 3 is 6. So then what is your final answer, everyone?
I already answered it, but 12/16.
That's right. Good job. All right. Oh, here we go. 4/7 minus 1/14. That's okay, Jacob. Don't worry about it. I'm going to clear this, do a new picture. 4/7 minus 1/14. So we can keep 14ths because that is a common multiple for both, obviously. So let's just change 4/7 into a part of 14ths. So how many groups of 7 fit into 14? 2. 2 times 4 is 8. So what's your final answer?
1/2.
Yeah, 7/14, which obviously is reduced to 1/2. Okay. What is the least common denominator of 3 and 7? So what is a multiple of both 3 and 7 that if I needed to make a fraction I can use as a denominator? Good job, Nicholas. It's all right, Jacob. We're going kind of fast. Does 3 go into 14? No, I don't think it does. So 21 is our only choice. Oh, 1 minus 3/5. Nicholas, why don't you explain to us what we do with this whole number 1?
Well, you would turn the 1 into a uh, so it has the same denominator as what you're taking away from it. So it would be 5/5. So you take away 3 from 5 and you get 2, so 2/5.
That's right. Good job. Yay! And I know we got 100%. So, yay! Good job. All right, we are going to move on
I have
to go ahead, Nicholas.
I have a cool trick to find the least common denominator.
Okay, you want to explain
You
it to
can
us? Here, I'll
Yeah, um you can multiply the number that the denominator by you can just multiply the denominators and you get the least common denominator.
That's exactly right. So let me just show like an example. Like if we have 2/7 plus maybe 3/4, and I'm looking at sevenths and fourths, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what the least common denominator is. If you multiply them together, you would definitely get 28, and then you'd be able to change those fractions. So that's very good. Good job, Nick. Let's just do this problem. Why not? How many groups of 7 fit into 28? Hold up your
How
fingers.
many?
4. Good, because 4 times 7 is 28. So 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, good. Now moving on to changing this fraction. How many groups of 4 fit into 28? 7. Good. 7 times 3 is 21. So then it's really easy to add them up. Oh, and this is a perfect segue into mixed numbers. What is this fraction right here called? When the numerator is bigger than the denominator. Go ahead, Nicholas.
It means it's one. Oh, it's like 1 and 128.
Yeah, that's correct. And it's called improper when the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So to change it into a proper fraction, we would change it into a mixed number. And you would sit here and you would ask yourself, okay, how many times does the denominator fit into the numerator? 1 time. And what would be left over? 1. And there we go. So if we work in the reverse, there's something called magic circle time. Has anybody heard of magic circle time? Okay. So if I wanted to check my answer, because I wasn't sure if that was the correct way to write 29/28 as a mixed number, I can check my answer by doing magic circle time. So what you do is you come over here, and the first thing you do is you multiply 28 times 1, and that is 28. Then you add the numerator, so 28 plus 1 is 29 over 28. There you go. So see how it went in a circle? Magic circle time. There it is. Okay, Jacob has a question. It says, when you're adding, don't you have to multiply when you're multiplying 2/7 times 3/4? Then at the second part to the end, don't you multiply the two numbers? Okay, so multiplication is completely different when you're talking about fractions. Adding and subtracting fractions is when you have to worry about having a common denominator, okay? When you are multiplying fractions, it's actually probably easier because you just simply multiply the fractions. Like you don't have to worry about changing these, you just go straight across. Bada bing, bada boom. You just go straight across when you're multiplying. When you're adding or subtracting, that's when you have to worry about finding those common denominators. Okay? All right, so let's go to mixed numbers. Okay. All right, so Jacob, I'm
Dear
going to
Tim
send
and
you a
Moby,
message.
what is a mixed number? From Dino11. Well, a mixed number is made up of a non-zero integer and a fraction. 1 and 1/2, 2 and 3/4, 27 and 3/8. These are all examples of mixed numbers. Moby and I are working on a mixed number right now. We're supposed to add 2.5 liters of oil to the car. 2.5 really means 2 plus 1/2. Converting a mixed number to a fraction is just a matter of adding two fractions. Well, look at 2.5. To add 2 and 1/2, we need to write 2 as a fraction with a denominator of 2. 2 is the same thing as 4 halves. Now, adding them together is easy. 4 halves plus 1/2 equals 5 halves. A fraction like 5 halves with the numerator larger than the denominator is called an improper fraction. No, they're just called that. Oh, there's a shortcut for converting mixed numbers to fractions. Yeah, how
Magic
much
circle
oil do we have
time.
left over? 3 3/4 liters of oil. The shortcut is to multiply the whole number by the fraction's denominator and then add the numerator to the result. We place that result over the denominator and get our improper fraction. So, 4 times 3, that's 12, plus 3 is 15. 15 over 4, 15/4. See, Moby? Mixed numbers aren't so tough. Moby? Maybe you should go easy on that stuff.
All right. Let's go ahead and take the quiz. Okay, here we go. Let's take a graded quiz, obviously, and here we are. What is the easiest way to convert a mixed number to a fraction? Mrs. Bruns calls it magic circle time, but how would you explain magic circle time? Which one of these is the best? Ooh, it's a lot of reading. But here it is. Multiply the denominator by the whole number, then add the result to the numerator. Okay. A recipe calls for 3 3/8 cups of flour. How can you express that as a fraction? So go ahead and do magic circle time. Go ahead and write down. So I'll write it for you. Let me wipe this clean. 3 3/8. I want to change this to an improper fraction. So magic circle time. Boop. 3 times 8 is 24 plus 3 equals 27, and then you just keep your denominator the same. So there we go. Hopefully this is becoming a little bit more automatic to you, and you could start doing them in your head. 14/10 is, what's the name for it? Immodest, improper, unpopular? Which one, Autumn? Oh, sorry, you're muted. Go ahead, Autumn.
E.
That's right. How can you express 2 2/10 as a fraction? So magic circle time. Which one, Nicholas?
B.
That's right. All right, so now we have to go into an actual problem of adding mixed numbers up. So this is it's pretty easy when they have common denominators. So let's go ahead and do this problem together. I wish it just wiped clean without me having to do it, but it doesn't. Okay, here we go. So I think it's easier if you kind of see it written like this instead of the way the computer shows it. Okay, so I have a fraction with like denominators, so I am easy and ready to go, and that's just simple. So add the whole numbers first. What's 2 plus 3? 5. Yes, you're right. And then we go back and do our fractions. What's 1/4 plus 1/4? Autumn? 2/4. That's right. So we all know that 2/4 can be reduced though. And we can call that fraction 5.5. Very good. Okay, so oops, I did not mean to do that. Let's do this problem together. Oh, whoops. I did not mean to take a picture of that. Dang it. Go away, Microsoft Word. There we go. What is the mixed number 4 1/5 as a sum of two fractions. Ooh. So which one of these would give me the answer 4 1/5? So let's take a look at what our choices are. Maybe we could just try one of them. Let's try D and see what we get. 5/4 plus 1/5. Oh boy. I'm going to have to change this into multiples of 20. I need more room.
20,
Yeah,
21/5.
that's right. Sorry, I needed a little bit more room there.
Hey!
Okay, so Nicholas says it's A. All right, well let's check Nick's work. All right, so let's see if this gives us an answer of 4 1/5. All right, so we are working with fifths here, so we don't have to change our denominators, so that is great news. So what's 20 plus 1? 21. So we have 21/5. So now we have to reduce that. So you ask yourself, how many groups of 5 fit into 20? 1. And there would be 4 and 1 left over. So Nicholas, you are exactly right. 21/5 is the same thing as saying 4 1/5. Good job,
I did it.
Jacob. He said that too. Convert the fraction 21/6 to a mixed number. Okay. All right. So we have 21/6. Ask yourself, how many groups of 6 fit into 21? 3. And that's 18. So 21 minus 18 is what?
3.
Okay. But this can be reduced. 3 and 4/6 can be reduced. 2 is a multiple of both 4 and 6. So 2 goes into 4.
2 goes into 4 2 times.
And 2 goes into 3. I mean, into 6.
3 times.
3 times. I
Yeah.
think we have a mistake here, though. What's 21 minus 18?
3.
Yeah, it was 3,
That's
not
what
4.
I said.
Oh, I thought you said 4, Nicholas. That's why I wrote 4.
No,
So, it's okay. There we go. So that's even easier to reduce. That just reduces to 3 1/2. Okay. All right, so another problem for you to write down. 3 2/5 plus 2 1/10. Unfortunately, on this one, we do not have common denominators. So this is what the problem's going to look like. 3 2/5 plus 2 1/10. I'm going to have to change both of these fractions into parts of tenths. So I'll just leave 2 1/10 alone. Okay, so let's change 2/5 into parts of tenths. How many groups of 5 fit into 10? 2. And 2 times 2 is 4. So now I can do the problem. I changed 2/5 into 4/10. So now your problem is 3 4/10 plus 2 1/10. So add your whole numbers first.
I'm already done.
Good. And what does 5 5/10 reduce to? 5 1/2. All right, Jacob, type
Exactly
into
what
the
I
chat.
figured out.
And he got that? Okay, perfect. Autumn, did you get that?
I got it.
Okay. What is the mixed number that results from adding up 3 halves plus 2 halves? Give everybody just a second, Nicholas. And in fact, you could just maybe type it into the chat and okay. So we have 3 halves plus 2/2. So that's pretty easy. 5 halves is my mixed number, but I have to obviously turn that into a mixed number. It's asking for a mixed number, not an improper fraction. So you ask yourself, how many groups of 2 fit into 5? Well, 2, because that would be 4. And what would be left over? 1. So your final answer would be 2.5.
What I said.
Good. What is the mixed number that results from, okay, so I'm going too fast. I'm going to go slower on this problem. 5/4 plus 2/8. Okay, so I'm gonna wipe it clean. I'll take a picture of it and I'll give you more time this time to work. So Nicholas, if you get it, type it into the chat.
Okay.
Okay. Autumn and Jacob, have you gotten this far? Okay. Good job, Nick. All right. Okay, so now we've got to change 5/4 into parts of eighths. So how many groups of 4 fit into 8? 2. 2 times 5 is 10. So here we go. Good, Jacob. So if I add those together, I have 12/8. And then I have to obviously make it into a mixed number. So I ask myself, how many groups of 8 fit into 12?
12 minus 8.
Mm-hmm.
4. 4/8 is the same as 1/2.
That's right. So 1 and 4/8 can be reduced to 1 and 1/2. Autumn, is that what you got? All right. Okay, let's see here. 1 and 1/2. Perfect. And I know that we got 100% because we are awesome. All right, guys, it is 9:15. So I will let you go for today, but please, please go back and do your job application stuff for Ameritown. Uh, look at all the reminders in your email that I've sent you. Mark your calendars, and I will see you Monday for our language arts virtual classroom. And we will be starting a new unit. It's pretty cool.
Can I tell you what that is now?
Yes.
That
Yes, go ahead because I didn't have time to do it.
it's 7 because 52 minus 49 plus is 3 plus 7 is 10.
Very cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to write that down. That works. Good job, Nicholas. And Jacob, why don't you type into the chat what your bad news is? Is it that you have to get braces again? I hope not. bummer.
All right, I gotta let you go.
Okay, see you later, Nicholas. Have a good day.
You too.
Sorry about your braces, Jacob. That's a bummer. But you'll be happier once they're off, and it'll be great. Have a nice weekend. Bye, Autumn. Bye.